Hey everyone. So this is the first time that I'm doing this. I'm doing a YouTube live, and I hope you can all hear me and see me well. So, being World Mental Health Awareness Day, I thought maybe I could just give a few inputs on what this day is about, what we do, and a few tips as well, how you can stay healthy in mind and body. So, well, my dear friends, Mental Health Awareness Day is observed on 10th of October 2020 every year. And why do we do this? Now, what do you think is the reason we are speaking about mental health so openly today? There's a famous person, Glenn Close, who said that what mental health needs is more sunlight, more candor, and more unashamed conversation because we are so stuck on the stigma of mental health right now. We don't really speak about it quite often. So this day is specially made to kind of educate people about it. What really is mental health? What are the illnesses associated behind it? We're here to spread awareness and advocacy against the social stigma that follows taking help when you are mentally ill. So let's take into account this present scenario of the COVID-19 pandemic. So we know that this pandemic has created some sort of a havoc in our lives, and it has impacted each and every one of us in a really big way across professions. So no matter whether you are a teacher, a doctor, a business person, an engineer, or having your own startup even, it's affected you for sure. And this is the era where these are times such as these where the need for mental health and psychosocial support has definitely increased substantially. And that's why this year there is a theme attached to this whole mental health awareness that we observe today, and that theme is increased investment in mental health. Now, why would I say increased investment in mental health? For the simple reason is if you have a headache, or let's take in today's scenario, if you have a cough or if you develop a fever, what's the first thing that's going to scare you? That you develop COVID and you will go to the doctor. It can turn out to be a simple cold, but what happens is that you will take medication for it. You will do everything to get better. You will take the necessary antibiotics, the necessary supplements, and what not. But my friends, when you don't feel too good about yourself, or when you don't feel too good about the circumstance you're in, or when you're not happy with the way your life is going right now, do you think it's a shame to speak to someone about it? I don't really think it's a shame to speak to someone about it. You need to talk. It's very important to speak. And we know that mental health is a state of well being in which an individual can realize his or her own potential. But when we are so clouded with our own thoughts and with our own limiting beliefs, I would say, how are we going to find that inner peace? How are we going to attain that peace? I really believe that a peaceful heart leads to a healthy body. And we, as I'm a mental health professional as well, I'm a homeopath, full on into mental health, and I'm also studying counseling. So, what we do is we try to empower people to kind of come to their own understanding and their own state of awareness, even through homeopathy medication or even be it through counseling. So, why is this necessary and why do I advocate it so much? Why am I saying that a peaceful heart leads to a healthy body? It's for the simple reason that if you're fine here in your mind, you will be at peace in your heart, right? And if you're fine in your heart, you will have no disease or no ailments as such. So, my dear friends, this is the reason I'm here to speak to you today and just tell you in short why it's really important to reach out. I know many of you or many of us, we may feel uncomfortable in reaching out for help because it's such a stigma. No, I'm not feeling well. I don't feel good about myself. Whom do I speak to? Many a time we might not reach out, and that's why here I am today telling you, to all those of you who cannot reach out, and to all of those of us who have the capacity of reaching out to those who cannot speak to us, I'm saying go there and just ask them. Ask them, how are you doing today? Do you need to speak? Or rather than just asking them, do you need to speak? They might not really open up. How are you going today? How are you doing? How's life treating you? Or how's your work? Or how's school? Or how's college? How's your job? How's everyone at home? Simple questions such as these show someone that you really, really care for them. And that is the reason, to those who cannot reach out, or to those who cannot actively, tell you what's wrong with them, you need to be there for them. And to those who are still shying away from reaching out, well, we are here for you. We're here to speak to you. So just tell us that you need to speak, and we are here for you. Another few tips I would like to share is what really helps one attain that peace of heart which brings the peace of mind and ultimately a healthy body. So, what according to me, if you would ask me what I do well, for me, I find my strength in prayer, and I find my strength in pursuing a hobby. And my hobbies definitely include reading, it includes writing, and it includes baking. So when I feel stressed, I know I'll bake the most tastiest cake, or I know that when I'm really stressed, something very good can come out of it if I go on creating something. And definitely, I write a lot, so I journal. That becomes a sort of an outlet for me. Well, that's about me, folks. And I know a lot of us will want to know what we can do. So I've kind of noted down a few tips here, which I would like to share with you. So the first thing I believe is being mindful. And why? What do you mean by mindfulness? Mindfulness is being totally present in the moment, totally present right now. So when you are focused on the moment, you are not getting your past issues, or you're not thinking about the future. You're just trusting this moment, that this moment has the best in store for you. I'll give you a simple example. Okay, it's from the book I read, The Miracle of Mindfulness, by a monk, Thich Nhat Hanh, and I really like his work. And it was one of the first books I read by Thich Nhat Hanh. And he very clearly says that mindfulness is as simple as this: when you wash the dishes, you do the dishes. You're washing the dishes to just wash it, just to clean it, not thinking about the outcome later on, not thinking about the future. You're washing the dishes to wash the dishes. And so when you are being mindful, you're just being there in that moment and just doing what you're doing really well. Like right now, I'm just speaking to you. I'm not bothered about the outcome that's to come, but I'm just speaking to you right now, and I'm fully focused on what's happening. And there's somebody, oh, my sister is here, and she says, wow, so I'm so glad you joined in. And so please share this as well. Anyways, so yeah, I'm totally here in this moment, giving my best to you right now. And that is being mindful, right? I'm just thinking about what content I want to put in front of you. Like Thich Nhat Hanh says, wash the dishes to wash the dishes. Do not wash the dishes to do the dishes. So you put your heart and soul into that moment, and you be totally immersed into that moment. Like, for example, how many of us actually practice something called as mindful listening or mindful eating? When somebody is speaking to us, how many of us are really listening to that person without thinking about somebody else, or without chatting on the phone? At times, I lose that as well. I kind of slip as well. So, but when I know that I have to speak to someone, I kind of keep the phone aside and give my whole attention to it. That's a simple example of mindful listening, where you're totally involved in making that person to see what you're totally giving your best to that person to show that person that you care and that you're listening. What's mindful eating? Mindful eating is when I know that there is rice, there is sabzi, there is pickle, there is papad is my favorite, or there is something, there is vegetable. I know that I'm just being mindful. I'm just eating right now. My focus is on the food I'm eating. My focus is not on Netflix or not on the movie that I'm watching in front. I'm just being totally present in this moment right now. That's mindful eating. Mindful eating, mindful listening, and being mindful doing any activity, the basic activity which I think will really help in helping you be calm is practicing breathing and mindful breathing. Now, what do I mean by mindful breathing? It's just being in this moment right now, taking a deep breath in and exhaling. So you breathe in and breathe out, not thinking about anything, but totally focused on your breath. Now, our human mind is what I read in one of the books I was reading when I was reading something on Vipassana some time back. I did read that the human mind is very much like a monkey mind, you know. So our thoughts keep jumping, and it's natural. You don't have to reprimand yourself if your thoughts keep jumping to someplace else, but you bring yourself back to your breath, you bring yourself back to what you're doing, and be totally invested in it. That is the best example I can bring to you on mindfulness. And definitely these are small activities which you can start with, but I know that just being mindful will go a long way. And now let me just put forth a simple thing across to you. You're having let me put something like this, that you are some issue of the past bothers you, okay, and you're really stuck on to what somebody did or what someone said or who's talking. But I'm just asking you to be right now in this moment. What is happening in this moment? Let's not think about the past, about who did what and who didn't do what I wanted, but let's just think about this moment. Can you judge a person on what they've done? No, you cannot. You're supposed to be mindful right at this moment, totally invested in this moment. And if you live your life, if you do your work like this, it's so beautiful. You're not going to think about what happened, but you're going to be so totally present in what you have to do. You're going to be so totally invested. And also, another thing is, you will not judge, you will not blame, you will not complain, and you will constantly be acting from a space of love and compassion, because that's what mindfulness is all about. You're constantly acting from a space of love and compassion, not thinking about the past, not being so bothered about the future, but doing your best at this given moment. It doesn't matter if your monkey mind goes away or just moves out, but you be present, right? Okay. The other thing, what I really believe contributes to good mental health is the quality of resilience. Now, what is resilience? Resilience is the ability to adapt quickly to changes which happen in your life. Now, many a times we are not able to cope with the changes that come in our lives, and we kind of remain stuck to what should have been rather than accepting what is. And that brings us a lot of despair. When you develop the quality of resilience, you stop hanging on to the past things, but again, you're being mindful and you're adapting to the change, being totally grateful for what is and moving ahead with your life. So resilience is a very important virtue to develop, and it comes with time. In time, when we get stronger, we know that there are certain things which we need to push back, and we need to be totally mindful and present and also adapt without holding others accountable for what we are feeling. Okay, Christopher says he has questions. So yes, we can take your questions. Definitely, you can type them here and I will answer them. The next thing which I want to speak about after mindfulness and resilience is awareness. So if you're aware of your being, if you're aware of your body and what you're doing right now, and you're aware of who you are as a person and what you like and what you don't like, that will bring you to a balanced state of health. So awareness is very important, my dear friends, dear viewers, and it is this awareness which takes us further. Is anxiety attack the same as a seizure? All right, I'll come to that. So yeah, so I was talking about being aware. So mindfulness, when you're present, when you're able to adapt to change, you're also noticing your body. You're also noticing what is happening in different aspects of your body, in different aspects of your emotions. You get to understand yourself as a person. That also leads to complete to a holistic healing of your being as a whole and contributing to good mental health. The next top tip which I share is, if you cannot speak, journal. And I do that a lot. Ever since I started studying, I journal a lot, and I release, and I realize that that's offering me a space to release my emotions. And I'm doing quite well with regards to how I conduct myself now. And I'm sure it's going to help you as also when it comes to communicating with people, or when it comes to just channelizing your emotions in the correct manner. Now, why does journaling personally help me? Journaling helps me because I enjoy writing. I am sure that whatever you enjoy will channelize your anxiety, will channelize things about yourself into the right manner. You might as well just develop a new hobby even. So the awareness of being is, yes, very important. Resilience. Then I told you something about journaling as well, about how it helps you release your emotions if you're not able to communicate. The next thing what I'm going to speak about is how communication is key. So, and why it's necessary to talk. But even if you cannot talk, like I said, there is journaling, but you could find that one person or that one friend who will really guide you. I'm not saying we're all advocates in the highest and functioning from a higher space where everybody can help you. We're all struggling with our own issues, and we can definitely help each other out. But if you require professional help when it comes to talking to a counselor or getting on to medication, do not hesitate. And by medication, many a times I'm not talking about being on any high dose of any medication of sorts, but simple natural remedies which will help to balance your energy in a more constructive, creative way, contributing to a more holistic well-being. The other thing I would want to stress upon is finding an activity which is constructive. Okay, just going back a little, when I say that you could talk, you have to talk to people, but I really insist on speaking to people who are going to help build you up. Otherwise, it would be like one blind man leading the other if you're going to just end up speaking to anybody. So you have to really choose who you're going to speak to or who you're going to share that journal with in case you can't open up, because that is going to help you heal in a more optimal way. And really select and make good choices, something which will help build your spirit and contribute to your mental well-being in a better manner. And definitely the next thing is activity. So you need to find an activity which will really help you deal with whatever issues you might be facing. And to all those who are struggling with issues, reach out. They are here for you. And on this note, I would also want to say how homeopathy helps maybe in some time. And to those who don't reach out, who are really hesitant in reaching out, I just want to say, hey, hi, how are you doing today? Are you okay? Is everything at home okay? Is your school going fine? Is your college going fine? I know online classes can be really hectic, but how are you doing? This goes out to you, those who cannot speak. Simple questions such as this will help you reach out to other people. And well, to those who talk, here we are. So, how does homeopathy help in all of this? So, I recently gave a talk at a summit where homeopathy is energy medicine, and I believe so because homeopathy acts at a level where it will balance your mind and body and channelize the energy to work in the right manner. So, if you're disturbed with certain things, homeopathy brings about peace in that disturbance. Okay. So with this, I would like take up questions, and we have a viewer just putting in two questions here. The first is an anxiety attack the same as a seizure? No, the anxiety attack is not the same as a seizure. An anxiety or a panic attack will usually involve a faster pulse rate and heavy breathing and a rush of emotions, whereas seizures is more of a spell where you could have an aura such as a blackout, and you could faint, and you will probably have frothing in your mouth. So it's really different from what a seizure is. And a seizure will have more of a chemical reaction happening. So will a panic attack as well, because it's all on the hormones too, and all on the levels of your serotonin and everything at that point of time. So can an anxiety and seizure be fatal? Definitely, both can be fatal. If an anxiety attack is not taken care of at an optimal time, that could just lead to very drastic steps. And seizures, if a person goes on for a seizure for a longer period of time, then yes, it could be fatal. And yeah, okay. What other thing? Everything at home is tense sometimes. I understand it can be quite hard for a lot of people who are having issues at home, and that's where you're called to speak to someone about it and how you could possibly deal with it. And because we're all fighting our own demons, we're all facing issues in our own ways. So I'm sure if you reach out, somebody will be able to help you, Christopher, to deal with this in a better manner, and give you the resilience as well to adapt to what's happening. So, does depression cause seizures? No. No, depression does not cause seizures. Depression is more related to emotions and a state of being, whereas seizures is on that front, it's a whole different aspect, but depression does not necessarily cause seizures. So I know there are really only few viewers, because I just didn't know how to do this, share this live video and tell everybody that I'm going live. So we're getting, but I hope this gets saved onto my channel, and maybe we can share it and then have a premiere of it sometime. I do hope. Is there anything else I can? A couple of viewers are there right now. So is there any questions or any queries? Yes, Christopher, please keep them coming. Yes, we could take maybe a few more. You could ask some questions. Well, if there are no questions, shall I end the live stream, and then maybe you could just ask in the comment section, and I will surely answer you over there. There are still times you get anxious. I understand how upsetting it must be to feel that way, and when you don't know how you're going to deal with it. Yes, exactly. I knew that was coming. And then it can get very upsetting and frustrating when you don't know how to deal with it. But here there is a lot of solution, because I believe every human being, whatever issues we may have, or whatever demons we are fighting, every human being is a person who is capable of doing so much. Okay, a person who is capable of becoming the best version of themselves, and a person who is capable of just being the ultimate, amazing, good person they were always created to be. Yes, music, dance, art, all these expressive arts definitely help in coping with depression, anxiety. There is storytelling therapy. There are so many therapies out there for you. It's very important to find the right therapist who's going to be able to guide you with it. Is there anything else? Any other questions? Okay, so I think I really thought I would just end up speaking for like 5 to 10 minutes, but it's 24 minutes. We'll try not to stretch this too long. If there are any questions, please put it in the comment section. Does ADHD cause depression? Uh, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure whether ADHD causes depression as such. Yeah, because ADHD is attention deficit hyperactive disorder. And if a person is unhappy with themselves, and once they come to realize what they're really doing, and that they're hyper, if they come to an awareness that could possibly, they could feel depressed about that fact. But ADHD is definitely not a causative factor for depression. All right. And so, yeah, so I think we end here. So, my top tips include mindfulness, being totally present in the moment, developing an attitude of resilience, journaling, speaking, and being aware and following an activity which you really love. Remember to invest in your mental health because your mental health matters. You take care, pour out your comments over here, and I'll definitely be able to answer them. Bye.